Hey, good evening, and welcome back to the Soak Channel. That's SOAK, Son of a King, Son of the Most High God. Thank you all so much for logging back in. I just wanted to briefly say something. I hadn't been on in a little while, kind of been doing some things with my family and getting out here, trying to do a couple of things, and just came back from a conference. And just so much things that have been going on and trying to get some things together. Nevertheless, I wanted to send this message out because right now I do believe we definitely need some encouragement. And one of the things I wanted to just discuss is what's going on with our election system and so forth. I mean, they're slinging mud back and forth, so forth and so on. But what I want everybody to understand, and at least hopefully you'll believe in that, no matter what it is that we see in front of us, that God is still in control. God is in control regardless of what it is, okay? So I have some friends that are talking about, Kamala Harris, got some people talking about Trump, this and that and the other, what I don't want people to do is to think that, oh, well, it don't matter, blah, blah, blah. No, your vote still matters, right? Your vote still matters. But what we can't get away from is we can't get away from God still being in control. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? If you look at the history of, Babylon, right? And go back and look at that story of Babylon. God used certain people to, or that king at that time, and I talked about this here in one of my earlier videos, used that king at that time to turn the Israelites back to him, right? Well, did they want that? No, they didn't want that. So there's a possibility that Trump may get into office, right? And if he's not the right candidate for the people, right, then he'll be there, right? Because let me rephrase that. If he's not right for the people, but it's God's will for him to be there, then trust and believe God will be there. I mean, Trump will be there. Now, does that mean you don't go and vote? No, you still go and vote, right? Because you're trying to do what's best for the people, or what do you believe that's best for the people, right? So I say that to say this right here, okay? In this particular situation, or in a time where Jesus was getting ready to be crucified, right? One of the things that I think it was Pontius Pilate. I can't quite remember. I have to go back to the scriptures and see. But I think if you remember this part of the story, he was there, and Jesus was bound up by them, right? And so he said, don't you know I have the power to kill you right now? Basically is what he was saying, okay? I have the power to take you out of here. What do you want me to do? And Jesus said something that was so powerful. He said that you have no power over me other than what's been given to you by my Father in heaven. That is powerful. That is so powerful. So in other words, God had given him that power. He was in that position at that appointed time because he was going to make that decision to do what he did and eventually have Jesus crucified, or be a part of the process of Jesus being crucified. Right? So, Jesus said when they were talking to him one time before, okay? So when we're talking about, and I'm saying this here specifically because of the time that we're in right now with our government, with our system, and so forth. When the Pharisees, or I believe when this is in Romans, okay? Let's see, this is in Romans, okay? Well, let me go back one, okay? Let me just go back one. This was in Mark 12 and 17, okay? This is a part when they were asking Jesus about, Caesar, right? And I believe they were talking about taxes and things of that nature. And so one of the things that they were talking about was they were saying, well, then Jesus, what do we do about these taxes and so forth, and what we supposed to give to Caesar? I'm paraphrasing, right? Jesus replied to them, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give to God what belongs to God. His reply amazed them, right? It amazed them because if I'm thinking about what Jesus may have been trying to teach everyone at that time was, don't worry about that. Give to them what belongs to them, but give God what belongs to him, right? In that whole essence is that's right. Give God your first few. Also, but don't at the same time, don't worry about that. God will take care of his children. He will take care of his people. You can't sit here and worry about who's in power and who's in government because God Almighty is still in control. That's what we have to remember. The other thing is, I want to bring this to your attention as well. This is in Romans 13, 1 and 2. God says, obey the law. Obey the law of the lands. In some of the scriptures, it says, obey the government. Okay? Why it says that? It says, obey the government, for God is the one who has put them there, who has put them there. All right? There is no government. Let me see if I can see more. There is no government anywhere that God has not placed power. So those who refuse to obey it or obey the law of the land are refusing to obey God, and punishment will follow. All right? So here's the deal. Again, you can't worry about it. So what does that mean? All right? So here's the deal. We may have somebody who may come into power or whatever the case may be, because the scriptures talk about, someone being deceitful and things of that nature. It could be the Antichrist or whatever, it speaks about things like in the Bible. Overall, all I'm saying is to don't try not to worry about it, because you're not supposed to be focused on them. You're supposed to be focused on the Most High. You're supposed to be focused on God. And God is the one who will deliver you from whatever is put in place. He said that he has never saw the righteous forsaken. So that means whoever's in power, it doesn't matter. Now, the other thing is when these people do wrong, right? Because they're not put in power to suppress the people. They're not put in power to do wrong to the people. All right. So there has to be a government in place. All right. Because the scripture says that God put these people in place, or whatever the case may be. Don't nothing happen without the will of God. And some of these things are put in a position simply to help you turn back to God. If you think about it, if we're supposed to be always focusing on God, right? Then, hey, that's what we're supposed to be doing. All right. Now, I got my daughter here today, all right? So she's not always going to agree or think that what I'm telling her is right, okay? There's going to be some things in life that she's not going to be happy about, okay? Maybe she'll disagree with some of the things that I say, all right? But she has to know that her father has her best interest. All right. So why am I saying that? You have to know that God has your best interest regardless of what it is that you're seeing in front of you. You have to know that. You got to know that. So you have to stand fast in what God is doing, regardless of what it is that you see. Why? Because in his scriptures, it says it so many times that we have to trust in the Lord. So why am I worried about it? Or why are you worried about what's going on around you? Yes, be a part of the political process, right? Whether your candidate gets in there or not, okay? Surely, it's definitely entertaining for sure. Some of the things that we're seeing in the mudslinging and so forth and so on, all right? But you got to know that God is the one who is in control. You have to know that. And you have to stand firm in your faith and firm in your belief as it relates to God, and know that he is God, and know that everything, and I do mean everything, will be okay. So yeah, you can talk about it and we can have debates and so forth and so on. But hey, let's not get too far off the reservation here. Let's not get too far off of what's really important, okay? And that's God being at the head of everything, okay? So I just wanted to send this out to you all today, just to remind you of that. Okay? Remind you that, we must obey a lot of the land. So that means that who put these people in place, all right? If he's saying that, okay, well, that means that we have a system. So, you can be a part of that political process, right? And voting and so forth, okay? You know what I mean? Some things that you just won't know what it is that they're doing. Some of them lie about some of these particular things. But hey, you can't worry about that. You look at the candidate and see if they are convicting you of or see if they not are convicting you. See, are they convicted of telling the truth? Okay, sometimes you can tell when people are lying about certain things. Matter of fact, do your research, fact check it. Fact check some of these things that these people may be saying if you don't believe it. Okay, look at this thing that they have called Project 2025 out now. All right, look at it and see what it is. Does it align with what it is that you think should be going on, or does it not? Okay, but don't get too far away from God. God is still in control. Okay, that's what I wanted to leave you with today. All right, so please remember that at the end of the day, okay, God is always and still will and will forevermore be in control. That's where I have my trust in, not in man, not in this government, but in God. Until the next time, this is the Soak Channel. That's SOAK, Son of a King, Son of the Most High God. Hey guys, take care of yourselves. All right, be a part of. Oh, I must be boring my daughter. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And remember, always look to the hills from which your help truly comes from. Once again, guys, until the next time, this is the Soak Channel. This is SOAK, Son of a King, Son of the Most High God. Alexa, tell everybody bye. We'll see them next time. Say bye.
Bye. All right, now let's head down to the lab.